Greetings to another video. Today we're going to talk all about weight loss and being overweight as a cyclist, and I couldn't do this level up series in January without talking about this because I feel like so many people have set their goals at the start of the year to lose X amount of pounds or kilos for summer, and specifically in the cycling community, whereas I feel like so much of it is focused on weight, like watts per kilo, and everyone in skin tight lycra, and help share things that have helped me because I've been overweight as a cyclist and I have lost weight as a cyclist. So I think I've lost about 35 kilos, but I'm gonna go into that. And also I want to say that leveling up is, although it's a level up series, is all about doing things long-term healthily. It's never gonna be like a quick fix, and I want to kind of share things in this series, as I've mentioned before, that can help you throughout the whole year. So it's going to kind of set you up for a good year, I guess. And I'm not an expert, I'm just going to share from my experience what has helped me. So I think the first thing to look at is the cycling community itself, and it is very, not skewed, but I think the road cycling community is very weight orientated. Like everything is about skin tight lycra, so every little lump and bump is on show, and you've got pros and watts per kilo and all that, and I feel like that's quite a lot of pressure. And I think on that pressure, I've seen so many people in the cycling community doing really unhealthy things to their body to try and look a certain way, and I know that from experience of myself having an eating disorder years ago. And I don't think people have to have a full-blown eating disorder, which is what I had, to experience like what disordered eating is about. I feel like it's important to say that weight isn't always an indicator of health. They're two different things. So for me, when I was at my lightest, skinniest, was when I had the full-blown eating disorder, and I was so unhealthy. Whereas at my heaviest, when I was about 100 kilos, as you'll see in this picture, I was actually out of that eating disorder and I had started to gain health. So I was healthier in that picture than I was when I was at my lightest. I lost my period, and in that picture on the beach, I got my period back and I was starting to get healthy, and like I was happier. And I think this is also an important thing to talk about, is my mental state in both those times. So that when I was restricting, doing all that crazy stuff to my body to look a certain way, mentally I was so unhappy. Whereas when I was like eating better, I'd gained a lot of weight, but I felt amazing. And at that time, I just felt like, I don't care if this is my body now, like, because I just felt so much happier. So when you look at someone, or when you look at your own body, skinny and really light, like on the scales, doesn't necessarily mean health and happiness. So just remember that. So when I was at my heaviest weight at 100 kilos, that's when I started cycling. And I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't uncomfortable. And if any of you are heavier and have started cycling, then I know what that feels like. It is harder to ride. And you know, I did get looks and I did get shouted at, and I got called horrible names when I was on my bike, but I stuck at it because it just made me so happy. So I wanted to share a few things that helped me when I was overweight as a cyclist, and then some of the things that helped me then lose weight. So these are not going to be like generic tips. I really hope these help you, because I feel like, I'm not going to get all teary again, but cycling massively changed my life, and I just really hope that if you are a little bit heavier or you don't feel like you fit in, then these things encourage you to do that, because cycling's amazing. So the first thing is changing your mindset from weight loss to adventures. And this, annoyingly, was probably the time that I lost the most weight, was when I had that mindset shift. I get so many DMs on Instagram of people saying, how many minutes a day do I need to ride my bike to be able to lose weight? And it's just, you can't do it. And I remember doing this before like I started cycling. I used to go to the gym and like look at the calorie counter and do all about like calories in and how much I was burning, and I was just obsessed with it. And that was just miserable. Whereas when I changed my mindset just to having adventures and just wanting to go out and ride with my friends and wanting to ride across countries or counties or towns or just riding somewhere that I really wanted to go, was when I lost the most weight. So just try and change that. Don't think of weight as a reason to ride. Think of cycling as the reason to ride, and then the weight will just come off. The next tip is fuel yourself properly with really good food. And this is one thing that I do still see in the cycling community that makes me so sad, is people living in like this restriction mentality of basically just not fueling themselves properly, and then wondering why they're not able to do the ride that they wanted to do. And I just feel like food is fuel, basically. Like, obviously it tastes amazing, but for me, I just see it as a way of like fueling my body to be able to do all these epic adventures. So just fuel yourself on, you know what good food is. If you're eating loads of junk food, that mentally doesn't make you feel very good either. I don't think it's that bad every, like, once in a blue moon, but every day for me, like day to day, I eat plant-based, I'm vegan. So just loads of veggies, loads of plant stuff, loads of potatoes are my favorite, loads of rice, loads of fruit. And yeah, I make sure that I fuel myself and look after my body. The next tip is wear whatever the hell you want to wear. So I feel like when I started riding like 7 years ago now, which is a long time ago, I feel like there wasn't really any in between. You were either a roadie in Lycra or you're a mountain biker, whereas now I feel like there are so many great clothing collections for like gravel, and so you kind of got that in between, or just wear like regular sportswear that you're comfortable in. Like, I know when I first started, I just wore leggings, trainers, and like a baggy t-shirt. So yeah, just don't feel like you have to fit into a particular like crowd. You don't have to be a roadie, you don't have to be a mountain biker, you don't have to be like a gravel rider. Just wear what you feel comfortable in, because if you wear what you feel comfortable in, you will ride for longer. I would recommend though getting bib shorts, even if you can wear them like underneath, you know, some baggier or longer trousers, because they do give you that extra comfort. The next tip is setting goals around the bike rather than on weight loss. So for me, that looked like when I first started riding, I was like, I really want to ride up this climb. I really want to ride up Doi Inthanon, which is a mountain in Thailand. I really want to be able to do an Audax. I'm trying to think of something else. I really want to do this Sportive, which is like the most amount of climbing that I will ever have done. And it shifted solely onto those things, not on what I weighed. And I feel like that just gives you a healthier outlook, I think, because I just feel like that has a better effect on everything else, rather than when it's just on weight, then you're not going to be eating properly, you're not going to be drinking properly, you're not going to be sleeping properly. Whereas when it's like a goal like that, it's like you're getting out there, you're training, you're eating, you're drinking, you're meeting up with friends. Like, I just feel like that is a much healthier way to be than just focusing on weight. And the last tip, don't weigh yourself. I know a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, but I need to weigh myself. I need to check that I'm not going like above like a certain weight, or I want to make sure that I'm losing weight. Honestly, it took me, I guess, years to lose all the weight, but I didn't own a pair of scales. I think intermittently, I probably weighed myself at my parents' probably every 6 or 8 months, or maybe once a year, because I knew I was losing weight. And I know, and you'll know this, is when you get on the scale and it's not something that you want to see, it makes you feel really crappy, and it then affects what you do that day. Oh, well, I better not do this, or it can sometimes have the opposite effect. Oh, well, sod it then, I'm just going to eat whatever I want. I just feel like it's healthier not to look at the scales, because nothing, I don't feel like anything good can come of it. I know for me, when I had an eating disorder, I was checking my weight every single day, sometimes twice a day, and getting in that mindset of just looking at a number, it's just honestly, just get out of it, and just, you'll feel so much happier not being tied to it. It doesn't really matter what a number says on the scale, because it's all arbitrary anyway, and I feel like health is way more important. I've learnt that the long, hard way. The ironic thing is that I'm pretty much at the weight that I was when I was doing all this crazy stuff with an eating disorder. So my weight has just naturally come down because I'm looking after my body. And I guess the final thing to say is just do not pin your worth or your ability to ride and have fun just on your weight. And I feel like when you're so focused on weight and what you look like in Lycra, it just takes away from all those fun experiences that you're gonna have outside on your bike, riding with other people. I think we think that we're gonna get judged more than people actually really care about. Like, I don't ever see someone in a group ride and think, that Lycra looks a little bit tight on her, or, oh, he could do with losing 10 pounds. You know what I mean? I just don't think that, and decent people don't. I will see you all very soon. What day is it today? Wednesday. See you Friday for, oh, actually it's my Zwift for Beginners. It's the last video in that series, so yeah, I hope that helps, and I will speak to you soon.